All right, hey, how's it going, guys? I know that timer's going. Let me just shut that off. How's it going? Hope you guys are having a good night. Let me just fix that a little bit. So yeah, how's it going, everybody? Just so you guys can tell right away, I started to. Where am I looking here? Up over there. I'm just testing some more stuff out here on Twitch. You can add like you guys know, you can add like link or not links, but like people's names and stuff. So when you guys start following and all that cool stuff, hopefully the like right now you can see the last person there at the top, and I'm going to see. It's kind of hard to tell from here. Let me see if I full screen that. You can see when you're full screen, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, everybody gets updated as well as how many following today and all that cool stuff. It's Twitch, right? There's all these really cool things you can do and all this other stuff. So thank you guys for coming in tonight. Okay, so what we're gonna do today? Oh, actually, Rainbow Braid, how are you? Pillowhead, welcome. Nordic Forge, welcome, 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 everybody. All right, so what we're doing today is we're gonna do some Jesop King like usual. Probably gonna be like a thick stream. Okay. A lot of Jesop King stuff we're gonna do. I think we're almost kind of. This is the page that we ended up with yesterday, or was it the day before? One of them. So it's almost done. The second panel is gonna be. It's a little bit more work because there's some perspective, but there are a lot of close-up shots. I was thinking I might shrink it. I'm not 100% sure yet. But the third page after this that we're going to be doing is super quick. It's not that long or big at all. And then if we're lucky, if we're really lucky, we're going to be jumping into inks, and I'm really excited about that. But first, we have to do some Patreon goodness. So on Patreon, one of the pledge amounts is a bust sketch. You guys know that. So the one we're going to do today is Professor Xavier. Somebody asked for that, which was cool. And so we haven't done one of these in a little while. Usually the start of the week we kind of do them, or start of the month, I should say. That's when the Patreon rewards kind of go out. So this is about mid-month. People are getting a little, getting to me a little slower than usual. And one last thing I'll say as well, and this one actually kind of sucks, is all these videos I re-upload back onto YouTube. But when I went there, apparently, and you guys have told me this, and I don't know what it is because I've streamed music on YouTube before, but all the videos that I was doing, they just they're like it says cannot be viewed worldwide or copyright worldwide. You can't watch it. So there's a good chunk of the Twitch streams that we've been doing just won't be on YouTube. So you have to come to Twitch if you want to watch them. Going forward, I'm just not going to play music. And we'll see how that goes. If I start to notice that we get like a lot of traffic here on Twitch, then we can start getting more fun with it. But for now, we'll just keep it as a little place to stream, okay? Remember saying it was the day before? You said you were going to the gym yesterday. Okay, right. You think, wow. It's like you know my schedule and stuff. Yes, the gym was great actually too. By the way, on Nordic Forge. Started reading your comic the other day, and I have to say it's pretty damn good. Well, thank you, Nordic. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much, sir. All right, let's do some. This one's gonna be easy. It's Professor Xavier, so it's a bald dude, right? So, but the one thing I like to do with him, and I remember seeing this especially from, it was like a. Do you guys remember those? I don't know if it was Tops or something. It was like Mutant Masterminds or something, Masterworks or something. And I remember seeing this one Xavier picture, and every time I draw Xavier now, I pretty much do it the same kind of way. We're kind of trying anyway to get like a dynamic kind of like kind of like thing like this on his head. Um, Not really feeling that one. Let's see if we can get a little bit better. Might be able to actually just start with the hand. Let's see how this goes. Because since he is just a bald guy, right? Like you got to get dynamic stuff in there as much as you can. So the hand is the best way to do it. And you know what we might actually do? Let's do this too. Let's let's rotate this up here. Because I feel like we're just going to end up getting a lot more art this way. Plus, we might be able to actually, you know what? Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I might be able to just do the, you can like split it down the middle and draw each side. Some people don't like that art, you know, like sometimes it looks just like it was copy pasted, that kind of thing. But we could definitely try it out. Let's start it over here. So let's get the, like if he's, actually let me get my mirror here. he's gonna. There's so many things we can do with the hands here. Maybe do something like that. I know it's not going to make sense to a lot of you guys. You'll see as we as we put this together here. You'll see it. It'll all come together, I hope. Hey, Bitey, welcome in. Some of the archive streams on Twitch have a note that portions have been muted. Yeah, you're okay. So I think it has to do something with the bands we were playing. It's all good. Just going forward, I'll just have to be more mindful. I'll take my little slap on the wrist here. So I have all of his face in here. Maybe we can. Let me just erase in an idea. I'll tilt it so it doesn't look so straight. What is here? Some eyes. He's got like those wild eyebrows. Let's just see. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Doctor Strange now that I'm looking at it. And what we have to do today, we're not doing the whole thing. We're just doing the silhouette. I'm a day behind on the silhouette. Normally I break this all up into chunks like you guys know. But, oops, I'm a little bit behind. So I have to do this and the line art today. And it'll go quick. And then we'll be jumping into comic pages. So let's just put this here. I just want to see. Maybe I can put one hand in front of the other. Just to give it like a. Let's get our composition on here, see what we're looking at. I feel like we can maybe come. Whoop. Let me just put that down like that. Alright, thank you for the follow, Bedlamanic. How do you say it? Bedlamnac. How you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. And if you would like, please let everybody know how you got here, where you're coming from. If it's YouTube, Twitch, if you're an artist yourself, post it in the chat below. I'm just looking. Did it update? It didn't update. Maybe because I closed it. Give me 1 second here, you guys. I just want to make sure this stuff's working. It's funny. We're all going to be working through the hoops all together here. Let me just shrink this. Do we get... Alright. I wonder if it'll update. We'll see. Because trust me, I'm like you guys. When you follow and stuff and you see somebody's name pop up there, it's always good. Let's see. There we go. Cool. Updated. Maybe it takes a little bit to like pop up on there, but awesome. Right on. Well, anyway, thanks again, man. Appreciate it. Kira, how's it going? Howdy, John. It's my lunch break at work, which means live stream with John. Good to see you too, my man. Good to see everybody here. Awesome. All right, so we'll get this going here. I think I might change. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to think like get the eye to move across here. So we get here. We're gonna look at Professor X's head. He's gonna kind of tilt it down a bit, and then this hand over here. Maybe we can, it'll be in front, but maybe this is like what'll guide us off the page. Possibly. Let's put that on top of his head just to kind of see. Yeah. I guess it's all right. We'll save this up, and then we're going to do the breakdowns here, and then we'll get into some line art. Tighten this mofo up. F3. And we have to figure out what we're going to do with this border as well. Shrink it up. So we can cut off the hand. Maybe what we'll do is his hand and maybe his head will come out of the panel, and then this hand maybe goes behind it. Something. Figure it out. Charles, what was that? It was the Juggernaut. That's like early internet stuff, man. What was it called? Do you guys remember? I know it was I'm Juggernaut Bitch, but I forget what it was. So long ago. Alright. Alright, let's get the breakdowns going. It's breakdown time. Actually, alright. So I'm going to start with the head here. Make sure everything's nice and cozy. I like giving them kind of like the Ryu eyebrows a little bit. Now, I had a discussion once, frig, man, this would have been right around the year 2000, 1990. I remember when I started going to the comic book shops and stuff. And X-Men were always cool. I always liked them. Not so much lately. It's just gotten really. I don't know. I just don't read comics, to be honest with you. But I remember a friend saying that he always felt like Xavier was like a villain. Just because he had mind control powers. I never agreed with that. What do you guys? You guys ever think like Xavier's like a villain, manipulating people and stuff to kind of do what he wants? I guess it's weird because it's why can't I grab that? There we go. Let's see if we can get him to look right at us. That'll make it a little more trippier. That's what yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you would always think that, I always figured he was the good guy. To be fair, the person that I always heard that said that he thought Professor X would be a bad guy, he just didn't really like the goody two shoe kind of heroes like Captain America's and stuff. He just couldn't stand. So maybe that had a little bit to do with kind of his saltiness. All right, let's make sure this comes out. We're gonna try this again. This one's here, it's fine, but I want to see if we can tilt his head a little bit more. I feel like this one's a little bit. Pop Cultivation, how's it going, buddy? Welcome. Have you? I want to say you've been in here. Anyway, I'm going good, man. How are you? How are you? Buddy, I've given up on the Marvel comic universe. Don't even recognize it anymore. Fair enough. Nordic, I understand this point there. Captain America was always a little much for me. Okay. Rainbow is saying, but he has used his powers for his own agenda before and to change the way people think. That might have been in the past, but it did happen. See, it's funny. It's like I think mind control is definitely a villain power, right? By default, I think it just goes to that. All right, let's try to tilt his head down a little bit more here. So I'm gonna really try to push this. So we're gonna have to get like crazy with his eyebrows, right? But we still gotta put this in there. This is like the brow. So at least he's looking at us. Let's really turn these nostrils. Let's flare these bones. Flare them up like that. So this might be the problem here. His head might be the way that I've got, or how much room I have to draw here is probably causing me to like not see this right. So let's really shoot his head up here like that. Let's flip it, see how it looks. All right, so we can kind of construct the skull a little bit here. Because like he is bald and like you don't really get a lot of lines to be able to draw, so you kind of have to, I don't want to say make lines, but you have to show something in here to make him feel a little bit more, you know, like even that lip, I feel like we need to really push it under here. Give him something like that, I don't know. And we really put the ears way up here, say something like that. Okay, how's it going? I know the name from YouTube. I just didn't know if you'd been here on Twitch. Pop's also saying, meh. My issue with comics came on years ago when a hot writer comes on board for a new team and they give him a blank slate each time. It gets boring every issue. Yeah, I do find like once comics started making that change around like what would you guys say around 2000, maybe 2010, in between there, like within that 10 years, everything sort of became along the lines of like graphic novel thinking. Like you're writing arcs over 6 issues to 12 issues, which is good. You know, like a continued narrative is great. But I agree. A lot of this stuff is kind of like when you put it together like that. To be fair, right? Every creative person wants to put their touch on it. Few creative people want to go onto a project and add to it, right? It's kind of like and maybe that's where it gets too out of line, where it's like we're not talking about reimagining, but yes, this is Xavier, um, but I can see the argument you're making there for sure. His mouth is really. I don't know what lines are gonna bring to get this stuff going, but like I'm really drawing him to make him look. I'm really making him look like a villain right now, eh? 1 second here. Professor X. And don't show me no movie crap. Show me comics. All right. Yeah, something like that. And I'm probably gonna put him in a suit. No, exactly. That's why one of the things that are always interesting about Xavier, like, because we're kind of talking about the villain stuff, is that it's like the eyebrows that were designed for him. I don't know if it was like in the original Kirby stuff or if it was some other artist that came along, but once they started adding like the like, there's a lot about his design that makes him look and feel like a villain for sure. The superpower, 100%. I don't want to give him too big of ears because it's gonna make him look even more like a villain. But a bald guy is usually a villain, usually, right? The crazy eyebrows, mind control, and then you also make him in a wheelchair. Not that people in wheelchairs are bad, but it gives him like, have you guys seen Unbreakable? Whether it's a good movie or not, you start to give people reasons to get agitated or irritated, right? Bring these ears in a little smaller like this. All right. So this compared to the original one we had, see, this one just feels a little bit more. I don't know. It's lacking something, but this one just, there's some emotion in here. I think. We got another follower. Thank you so much. Let's see if it pops up here. Hmm. Ice Comics, welcome in. Welcome to the club. Yeah, I started. If you guys read on the screen now, it says it's now a scribbler. So I was trying to think of like, it's cool to say followers and stuff, and I'm like, maybe we could call like people that come to this stuff like something. So scribblers. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna stick. Again, we're throwing shit to the wall, seeing what sticks. Anyway, Ice, welcome, man. Appreciate it. I'm just checking something here. It's honestly, it's weird. Like the settings here, right? Like newest follower. There we go. It's updated. Followers today. That is not the right number. It should be 2, right? Maybe I have the wrong thing set up for that. Actually, give me 1 second if you guys don't mind. Let's see here. File settings. Let's see. So we put for followers, session follower count, and then no, yeah, count, session follower count, right? Total follower count. I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't know if total is right. No, it should be session follower count, right? Yeah, should be that. Hmm. Thanks, man, and no problem. Love your streams. I always have. Oh, hey, thank you. I appreciate that as always. I feel like I say the same stuff all the time, but thanks, guys. I do appreciate that. Pop is saying, funny how something simple like a bald guy can be difficult. Yeah, but sorry, but if it was Doctor Strange, Havoc, etc., with the costume really extravagant, it gets easier. Big time. Totally gets much easier when you get more distractions and stuff to look at, right? Literally, he's a guy in a wheelchair in a suit. You know. Oh, Troy. Troy from just so I can make sure, from Brimstone. Brimstone Troy. Art by Ruben. Thank you for subscribing, my buddy. Subscribing, following. We don't have subscribers yet. All the new followers and stuff. Please, guys, put it in the chat. Let me know where you're coming from. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. I'm always curious about that stuff. So I say it all the time. I need to know more. All right, let's turn this red, and I'm going to start. I'm going to start the hands here. Okay, so I'm just going to gesture them in here. So the way I figured this one was the fingers. They were going to kind of wrap around. I'm kind of giving them some beefy fingers, like this. I'll shrink these up because these are looking way too big. Oh, Troy. Okay, cool. I know you now. As soon as you started saying actor and stuff like that. How you doing, buddy? Welcome. It's funny seeing all the YouTube guys and girls making it over. That's good. All right, so have something like this for this hand. We're gonna shrink it up though because that's massive. Give them a little more Dainty kind of hands. How's this look over here? Yeah. You guys are coming from YouTube, right on. Well, feel free. I know most of you already have, but if you guys haven't, go ahead, consider hitting follow. That way you won't miss any of the streams that we're doing. So maybe with this hand, I'll do something just a little different. A little more Doctor Strangey with the hands, I guess. Maybe I can even like bring it into his face a bit. I was just looking. What are we doing here? I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's doing like an L on his face or something. I don't, I don't know. He's doing mind stuff, right? Does it matter? He's just using mind powers right now. He can do whatever he wants. And obviously with the background, we're going to do something like crazy. I don't know. Actually, if you guys remember, let me open up. I don't know if it was for color gradient we did this as well, or we did it for somebody else. Let's just go through this for a second. Was it for Nate? Nope. Euro. Maybe it was for Euro. In my head, I can see. Oh yeah, here it goes. If you guys remember the Iron Fist we did, something like this for the background, possibly. I'm not sure. I know ever since watching what's it called, X-Men on Fox, that like Magneto had the same thing where he just go like this, and it was like these yellow rings that would come out. Ever since I saw those, it was like that's how those things look, you know. The thumbs, the thumb is tiny. We'll fix it. Don't worry. We'll fix them. All right. Now for the rest of them, let's turn this off here. Let's save it up. Let's give them some clothes. How does that look over there like that? Oops. Let's save it up. For the past 3 or 4 times, you've been trying to see me on Twitch, and something was screwy. Hey, yeah, no problem. I've heard some people are having a little bit of issues watching. I don't know if you guys have been normally watching the streams and stuff that we do on like your phones or something. But yes, I have heard some people saying that it's laggy or something like that. All right, let's get some liner. I forget the size that we use. Let's just check this out. Whoops. Fine line art. Yep, that's what it is. Okay. Alright, well, we're going to start with the good stuff. Five Guys burgers and fries. Five Guys burger, is that in the U.S.? I don't know if I've heard of Five Guys or not. There's none here in Windsor. I don't know about in Toronto and stuff, but I feel like the U.S. You guys have so many friggin' kinds of burger places. All right, that nose is just too thick. Actually, you know what it is? I think it's like we really shouldn't see any nostril. Should be like something like that. It's a U.S. thing? Okay, alright, that makes sense. Don't mention meat? No, it's. No, guys. Obviously, yeah, you guys know I'm vegan and stuff. That's why you're saying all that stuff. I get it. It's fine. It's when people are saying the dumb shit. That's, you know, when you're trying to get the reaction and stuff, that's where it's like, alright, that's just banned. Get you out of here. That kind of stuff. Everybody in my family eats meat, except my brother and my girlfriend. So I'm around. Trust me, if you're a vegan, you're around lots of meat eaters. You know what? I actually really like whether or not this image comes out. I'm enjoying drawing it because I haven't drawn like extreme angles like this in a very long time. Like humans, anyway, right? Like with Jessup and stuff, it's just aliens, and I can get away with a lot. But this is fun. And the next story, I don't think there's humans in the next one, but probably after that, I'm gonna have to start making a conscious effort to include more humans in Jessup. All right, let's give them the Vegeta lines, I call them. How's that look over here? All right, let's get some hand action going. Let's start with this one here. I think his jaw is too pronounced for Xavier. Personally, it gives him that strong hero kind of look. I think I can see what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I see what you're saying. Is this the James McAvoy one of the? This is the comic book one. I absolutely can't stand the X-Men movies. I don't know what it is about them that I just don't. One okay, no, I don't say I don't like them all. The one that I haven't seen Logan. I heard really good things about that, but I haven't watched any of the Wolverine movies. Um, Last Stand when Magneto was in it, when they actually got the helmet right. I like that movie. That one was good. But I don't like the Quicksilver. I didn't like a lot of the stuff myself. If you guys dug those movies, by all means, like good. I'm glad people do like them. I just don't personally care for them. You guys saying the only thing I miss from YouTube Live is on the phone. I watch the landscape and the chat appears as a transparent overlay. On Twitch on the phone, I don't get it, so I have to pick up the phone and look. Oh, that's too bad. Really? I'm surprised I don't have something on Twitch like optimized for that. I feel like YouTube, maybe that's just where they kind of like pick up the ball. Like YouTube's kind of doing what Twitch is doing so well, you know. And they want the thing is, guys, like with all this stuff, like with Snapchat, whether you guys use Snapchat or not, when they started doing that, like with their stories and stuff like that, and then Instagram gets on there, a lot of these companies are just going to go and do whatever, wherever the attention is. It doesn't really all the time matter so much that it's about what the company stands for and stuff. It's that's why you see like Facebook doing it and Instagram doing all that stuff, where it's all they're just going to do whatever is garnering the most attention. So if another company is doing something that creates interest, then other companies are going to do it as well. So that's why I think it's weird. That's why like YouTube stuff is a little odd. Spartan5434, welcome. Appreciate the follow, my man. Where are you coming from? Coming from Twitch, Twitter, YouTube? Welcome. Cross Contour, my man. Welcome up. Welcome up. Welcome back. Logan was good, but that's because it was less of a superhero flick and more of one of those badass characters. Cool. So it had a story. That's good. The James version, or no, I already answered that question there. This is the comic book version. I don't like the movies. Spartan, my man. All right, yeah, okay. The old days of Picardo. Yeah, actually, somebody emailed me. I don't know if it was you. Somebody emailed me asking, how come we stopped streaming on Picardo? I haven't honestly been there to see how, like, not that not that I don't think it's doing good, but how is the community and stuff going over there? I mean, they're still around, so should be growing. Oh, also, guys, I told you I'd get back to you on the last stream. Not that anybody gives a shit, but uh, Monday, I guess, is a holiday for some people in Canada. We're lucky at where I work. We're getting the day off, so that means that we'll be doing some streaming big time. Friday, it's gonna be a lot. I think Friday's gonna be a huge stream. Saturday, definitely a huge stream. Sunday, Monday, I'm not sure, but definitely big streams during the week there. I'm actually really excited because we can move on some Jessup King stuff. Holidays are like such a great time to, for me anyway, to like really knock out and catch up on all the places that I slowed down a little bit with Jessup. I also want to get back in that habit. If you guys remember, I was showing you guys where I was recording how much time it was taking to do pages, and the intent in the beginning was just to find out how long it would take for me to do pages, so that I could go, okay, well this is the minimum I need to do every week in order to make sure that I don't go into the backlog too quick, and that I'm rushing to make content all the time. I don't want that to happen. You always hear like webcomic people say that all the time, and anyway, so what I want to do is get back into the habit of recording that stuff because I just stopped once I figured out how long it was taking me to do pages on average. I just stopped, but I feel like recording that was also giving me like I could quickly look and be like, I haven't done anything. I could look at a week and be like, you feel like you did a lot this week, but you look at the numbers, and it's like you didn't. Uh, Picardo, wasn't he on something else before that? I was on the first place was UStream, then it was. Did we go to YouTube? I know I didn't stream for a long time. Maybe it was YouTube and then Picardo and then Twitch and YouTube all at the same time. It was around there. Yeah, it was something like that. Spartan was saying was thinking about drawing a comic on stream that is user submitted. What does that mean? User submitted. I feel like I just didn't understand the question there. Sorry. All right, I just want to make sure that okay. So the head is on its own layer. The hands are on their own layer as well. We're gonna add contour layers around it, so they're each gonna pop. You'll see in a second here. Last thing we have to do is just his. Yeah, we'll leave that line. His suit. I think. Let's bring it up a little bit. Like a little tie action. Some texture in here. Oh, I didn't draw his ear. Should we draw that? It's gonna get covered over, but you never know. May as well have something in there. Okay. Something like that, maybe. All right, now let's test. Let's give her the old test run. All right, so we're gonna grab this layer and we're gonna go current layer. Okay, I missed something. Let's go figure it out. I think I know where it is. Yeah, right here. Like users submit ideas based on the theme, real short comics. Alright. Oh, okay. I still don't know. Are you talking about like an anthology, or is it something here on Twitch that people are doing? I highly recommend anybody when you're doing comics, totally stream it. You never know how you'll build an audience, and it's important to always be trying to build something. I think anyway. Okay, so here we go. So we'll have this, right? I'm going to duplicate this border here. That way I can do this. I'm going to erase it, and in case I don't like it, we can always go back to the way we were. Right. There we go. Let's turn all this off. We'll adjust the line weights and stuff later. But the reason why I added each thing in its own, here I'll show you, like, when we get to inking, maybe I don't like the way this hand is or whatever, right? I can kind of adjust this stuff, you know? Maybe I want it, you know, we can turn it this way or, I don't know, bring it back up or something. I'll have to fiddle with some of the line art and all that, but, yeah, this is, you know, if you want it, whoops. If you want to move things up or bring things down a bit. Or, like I said before, you know, like we could just go like this, duplicate all that action, edit, transform, flip horizontal, right? Just see how this looks. You know, you can start playing things around or playing with things like this too. We'll see. I don't know. I'm actually going to leave all this in here, so it's going to look like a hot mess so I don't forget. All right, so let's save that up. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, yeah. So absolutely, man. Yeah, totally be streaming that stuff. I I tell you guys, like, I understand some people don't like drawing in front of people. I get that. You get nervous when you're at conventions and all that. Streaming is 100% the easiest way to start breaking out of your shell. You don't even have to. You know how long it was before we even had like a webcam and stuff. You can just have this. You don't have to have a mic. You can have music playing. You don't care. You're just streaming. Maybe a couple people might leave a comment. You know that stuff definitely is good for the art soul. I'll tell you that right now. It's good to have that going on. Gives you that like art self-esteem. All right. Wait for. Oh yeah, I'll add that when I go in to do the inking and stuff. Yep. Okay. So we did this on Instagram when I was live streaming on Instagram yesterday, I think it was. Before I went to the gym. Yeah. This is where we ended up. So let's keep going. Oh yeah, man, this is all Jessup does, man. He's just striking, striking poses. I know it's impossible, but I think I accidentally drew his mustache too big. Again, I know it's impossible. So I'm just going to insinuate where some of this stuff is because I've got Momo overlapping a lot of this. So when we get to inking, and plus I can see it once we add her in there, what we need to adjust. Now let me get, what's our perspective doing here? Okay, so we got a line coming here, here. It's like way down here, right? So bang, bang. Yeah, I think this is too crazy. He's got a gun show here, but not. Let's not break. Let's not have disbelief too much. What are we doing? Let's get this going. Let's get that. Let's do some costume elements. If you guys remember in this panel up here, it's a very similar shot, right? We're getting that dynamic kind of crap going on. So I want to try this thing here. We're gonna go bang, and we're going to thicken up the line art. Sweet. I'm gonna do the old rasterize trick. We're gonna duplicate. We're gonna move that up just to give these a little bit of depth to them. Move that one over a bit. Put down. Let's just draw this. I'm gonna try to. It's funny. I don't know if if you've been messing around at all with like these actions and stuff similar to the ones that I'm using here. But when you start doing things like, you know how I show you guys how you make automatic like shoelaces and stuff. Sometimes you end up, or I end up just trying to like find the very quickest way of doing something when it's like just quickly draw it. Don't always just go ahead and use these things. Oh, cool tires. That's pretty cool, man. Whoops. What the hell? So you're missing all these little dots. You have to go back and do it over again. How does that look? But his lats, those aren't going to cut him. We need, I know Momo's going to cover it, but he needs some big old back muscle. Hey, Nabu. Welcome, my man. Get these Pokeballs drawn in here. Cool. Zaid, how's it going? Sorry, Dig the Professor X. Are you going to ink it traditionally? It's all digital. It's for Patreon. All that stuff is like digital commissions. There is someone. He's taken a couple pictures of the commissions that I've done. Because what I do is I send you guys like if you grabbed one, let's say, I send you a web version. So if you wanted to share it online or whatever you want to do with it, as well as an HD version. So if you wanted to print it out, they're relatively small too, but they look pretty cool printed out. But no, I'm not printing any of that stuff out myself. Alright, I think Hercules is done here. Let's just grab all this here actually. Make a folder for it. We'll call it J-Pop. Let's just make sure all our lines are crossed here and all our I's are dotted. Alright, go around here. Bang. Bang, bang. To answer also, if you guys are interested, in the videos coming out or if you catch the streams, they go pretty quick, but we'll be inking and let me see when we're doing them. Friday. So yeah, this Friday we'll be streaming, like I said, and we're gonna do the inks, the shadows, and you guys can see that too. So Rainbow got a new kitten today. Her and my puppy don't get along, and she has some attitude. It's the best part of cats. They got attitudes. There you go. Kippa Kappa? What the hell's Kippa? There we go. There's Kippa for you. I had Zelda. That's the first cat that I adopted, and it was great. Except I felt bad because they're not outdoor cats, right? So I felt bad that she was by herself all the time, and I think a lot of people do this. I guess maybe with their own kids or something. So I adopted. Well, I don't know if I adopted one. There was somebody that had a litter, and I got a kitten off of them. So that basically it was just. Sorry, what the hell? I'm all over the place right now. So that they could hang out. But she used to beat the living shit out of Jessup when he was a kitten. Like I remember walking in and she would just corner him and just start. You know how the cats have that rabbit paw? It was like smack, 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 and he was just a kitten. And he was getting pummeled, and I'd have to stop it and stuff and separate them because they couldn't eat in the same room. And now they'll like nap together and stuff. And now he's much bigger, so she probably just learned to roll. Uh, Key guy is asking: Is Jessup as a war machine? Sorry, is Jessup as a war machine? Does that mean literal machine, as in robot android or cyborg part human? Oh, yes, he is 100% a machine. He's a cybernetic organism, living endos. What is it? Living endoskeleton? No, it's living tissue over an. I'm fucking that up. I know there's something over a living endoskeleton or something like that. Cyborg Terminator action. Uh, I will say too. Actually, I think the next if you're on Patreon, I think what is it? What's just happened right now? Jessup just got thrown into the Pagargo. Yes, that's the new page that just went up. Right? I'll have to I forget, but regardless, if you guys are reading the webcomic online, within the next couple pages, you'll see what happens with Jessup, and it gets brought up about the War Machine thing. Uh, Towards the end now with this stuff, there's a lot more history that starts to get talked about. It's almost like I'm trying to write it in a way where it's like it's people. There's only like older people know of the history of Jessup and like that kind of time that was there, and it's kind of talked about as if it was like you and I lived through it, and we're just kind of how you and a buddy you talk about it at past events. So there's ad libbing and a little bit of like like jabs thrown in, that kind of stuff. But it's all pretty serious toned, and I'm hoping it resonates with some people a little bit. But that going forward, there's going to be like some fun stories and stuff. Like in the next story, in the next chapter, man, we'll wait. I don't. The next one's a small one, and basically Jessup's doing something so that Momo can get something. I think that's going to be the running gag a lot of the time. He's the muscle, right? Any good reference for sites? Sorry, God, I can't read. Any good ref for website or okay, yeah, okay. It wasn't just me; it was the way it was written. Pose and fighting stances. I used to go to Pose Maniacs. You can check that out. There's an app you can download. I bought that one too. It's called. Let me see what it's called here. I don't really use it that much, but Art Pose. It's like a 3D model. You can like grab things and do stuff and like make screenshots and stuff. That's really cool. Other than that, honestly, you know what? Where I always got the best ideas for fighting stances and poses and stuff is just look at comics, look at animation, look at video games, watch some Street Fighter videos, watch some Mortal Kombat, watch some Dragon Ball. I'm sure there's tons of other better ones. Read manga and stuff that have really cool action. Because I'll tell you, I mean, I guess it depends. If you're trying to, you know, draw something that's realistic, then I get that. If you're trying to draw something that's cool and pure style and people like holy like that kind of stuff, uh, realism probably isn't the best place to look. At least for me. All right. Rainbow's got 4 cats, and one's going to have babies soon and a pup. You sound like my girlfriend. She she has a dog, but at her home they've got 4 or 5 cats, 2 birds, and it's like she wants another dog. Crazy. Pinterest has tons of Pinterest is amazing. Hey Matador, how's it going, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. Also, Matador, everybody else that's here. Oh my God, we got how many viewers? We're at 28 viewers now. This is great, crazy stuff, man. Thank you guys, everybody. If you guys are coming from other places and all that cool stuff, or if you're new to this stuff, consider hitting the follow button. Every time we're gonna be sticking on here for a very long time. I have no intents of going back to YouTube. I will be re-uploading videos 100%, but the streaming is gonna be Twitch probably from here on out. Everything just seems better. Just seems better. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Just does. So anyway, if you want to watch the streams, catch up with all that stuff, make sure you hit the follow button. That way you get a notification, and the notifications go pretty quick, which is good. Sometimes on I don't know if you guys remember on YouTube, it was like I was sending stuff out, but people weren't getting them, and it is what it is. But it's awesome to see some familiar faces in here. Thank you, everybody. I love you. All right, how many tentacles we got here? 4. I love this one panel here. She has like. All right, let's give you guys a little. Let's. I don't know when this is gonna go live. You know, so let's go. Let's go a little. Let's show some. Let's show some story today. How's that sound? You guys want to see what the hell they're talking about? Let's do it. Let's do this, okay? All right. So this is Jesop here, right? Now he's talking to King Mexiat. That's this dude's name. He's the king of the one of 9 King Doblins, right? So he's here. Jesop's saying, there will be no more slaves, King Mexiat. Today that all stops. Gather your army, leave this planet, and don't you ever think of coming back again. I'm only going to ask this of you once. And King Mexiat's here, and he's like, you dare? And I told you guys about this. This was like I love Doctor Doom, that kind of stuff. Like, who dares, right? And then here we've got the Queen Tubia, I think her name is. I can never say it right. She's like, gasp, that stupid shit. And he's like, this planet is now forever mine. Kneel before your Lord God King. There's some stuff that plays before that where he's, just doing the ramble. And she's saying, you have no idea how much I was... Whoa, did I read that right? You have no idea how much I was hoping you would say that. There you go. That sounds... You have no idea how much I was hoping you would say that. Would it be you'd say that? You have no idea how much I was hoping you'd say that. You'd say that sounds like it would be a little bit more like how you'd actually say, like how you'd actually talk. Is you'd an actual word? Or is that just bad English? Let me see. You would, right? Yeah, no, okay, cool. It's a really odd looking word to write. Y-O-U apostrophe D. Like, alright. I think this will just flow off the tongue better. Good old Manga Studio. Being able to just adjust on the fly. Whoops. Still fits in the bubble. Cool. You have no idea how much I was hoping you'd say that. There we go. Yeah. That reads better. So, obviously, like, leading up to this, she's pretty like, let's go. You know, like, we got some asses to kick kind of thing. And Jesop sort of takes over as Jesop does. Lets them know. Gives you that second chance. He's that nice guy. You've done all this bad stuff. He's going to give you that second shot. Second shot. And the guy's basically saying, like, go screw yourself. That's why she's like, I was hoping you wouldn't just leave. She wants ass to kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are we going to do with the other tentacle here? Maybe we just go... Yeah, over that way. Twitch makes YouTube look plain. I'm sure YouTube will catch up if it's something they're interested in doing. Larry is saying, John, Jesop's midsection, particular area where his belly button should be, it looks like it's off center. It could be, just to be upfront with you guys. I appreciate, obviously, and I always say this all the time. I'll always be a student, so constructive criticism I'll always take, listen to, and then see if it makes sense with what I'm doing and all that, right? I just wanted to reiterate with all that being said, that a lot of this sort of stuff, I'm not going like super picky with the anatomy being correct or like as long as it doesn't look way out of whack. So let's take a look here. I just want to maybe you know you could be right, right? So we got the chest coming in. I'm sinking in the rib cage. It might be a little hard to see. Now what I'm thinking may have thrown you off is this line that's coming down the middle. The ab is still connected here. I just don't have a line, and I'll be correcting that with inking or when we get to ink or shadow and stuff like that. I think that's, but anyway, I appreciate that, but I think it's okay. Well, again, so the best part about working this way, guys, for me anyway, and I've always recommended you guys try it, is we're working in batches, right? So all I'm doing is line art, doing line art. When I get to inking, I get to come back to this page with a fresh set of eyes and assess things differently. So, why I enjoy that is some of you guys probably work like this. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a very normal way of working, and it's a standardized way of working, which is to say that you sit down and it's something you either have a thumbnail ready to draw or you sit down and you go from start to finish for a page. What happens from that is it's not that like you're gonna shit art or anything, but what I'm trying to say why I really enjoy working in batches like this is because tomorrow when I start inking or whatever, or like I said, if we're lucky, we'll be inking tonight. But tomorrow for sure I'll be inking. When I get back to this, I've had a whole like 24 hours to like kind of get my mind off of this. So when I look at it, I can move things around, right? Like, what's a good example here? This will be actually an example here. So like Momo here, right? Like I might not like where she is, so I can kind of like move her around a bit. And like maybe I want her more over here, and I can cover up some areas. So why that's cool again is when there's areas such as like bad anatomy or some weird stuff that goes on. Sometimes you can adjust it with this, and that's not like I don't want that to be an excuse for like bad art. But in a way, I guess I'm definitely using it as that. Um, Let me just get her tentacles in order here. They're all kind of out of whack. All right. I'm at it. I hadn't realized you were on Twitch. Just thought you were taking a break from streaming. Oh yeah, no, you're right. You know, I would always talk about it in the streams, but let's be fair. Those streams are like what 8 hours. Few people are reading all or watching all that. Right. Just glad you can make it. All right, what the hell am I doing here? Oh, right. Let's. Hmm. I'm gonna try something here. Could bite me in the ass when we get to inking, but let's try it. Make a new layer. We're gonna draw in white. I'm just gonna break up the line art that way. Alright, so hopefully this works when we use this here. Alright, let's get a contour layer around her. Alright, so we can put Jesop in here. Cool. So this is what I'm saying, right? Like maybe we want to move her around at all, right? So we can kind of obviously the tentacles we'd have to add to, but just gives you flexibility. And comics are one of those things that it's so many moving parts. Sometimes just going to draw, you know, like the image that you're doing is just a little. It can be a little tricky. That's all. All right, so let's put this down. Sorry. Larry is saying, I hear you. I just drew the mental line from the base of his neck to the groin area. Oh, okay, you're right. Oh, so you're saying in this one. Oh yeah, you can actually see the line. That's true. That's true. Oh no no, hey, I want you guys to rip my art to shit. Trust me. Momo is definitely bringing the sass. All right, let's get this panel going so we can get the hell out of here and move on to some other good stuff. I'm gonna start with her. Some people were asking on Webtoons actually. I didn't know exactly what they were saying. They were saying the little green guy, and I don't know if it was this dude right here, who's actually a lady. Her name's Boca. Um, they wanted like a mini story with her, which actually tied in really well. I didn't even consider it, but you guys remember what I'm saying is once this chapter's done, and I can go into like the like not a page or 2 pages a week update. It's just like once every 2 weeks or a month. Let's say you get an issue or like a chapter released to read. It actually works out really well for like side characters, right? Because there could be a whole story maybe where Jessup and Momo aren't in it, and that might be. It's interesting to do that when you take your main characters out of a story. But I do think what's really good about that, and I mean this is just one person that had said this, but it's an encouraging thing that your secondary characters can, if they do, get a little bit more interest than your main characters. That's actually pretty cool. Matador. Sometimes I feel like not reading the comic until you have several pages up. I kind of hate having to wait. No, you're right, Matador. You're. It's funny because Rainbow Bright above you, what she was saying was actually something I didn't really consider until she said it. I'm going the way that you're suggesting because of that. When we first started Jessup King, I just wanted to get the comic going, and I knew that if I kept hesitating, I'm like, well, how do I like write this? If it's gonna be the way I'm doing it right now is very akin to if this was ever going to see print. And I think that's one of the downfalls of its growth. Besides, like, let's say my art sucks or something, or people don't like the art and all that, which is totally plausible, and I'm more than sure that's true. Or they don't like the writing, or there's so many things, right? But the amount of people that I've heard saying that they wish this was going to print and stuff, which is very encouraging and great and all that stuff. Uh, I'm a little concerned, a little bit, because I just think that maybe the not the wrong audience. All audiences is good, but I'm not getting I guess the targeted audience, if I could call it that, that I initially was intending to hit. And I'm not gonna, start pouting about people enjoying my stuff at all. That's the stupidest thing you could do. However, when it comes time to maybe try to do something with this to make money off of it, who knows what could happen, right? And the first idea was again just digital stuff, and I know a lot of people probably in here you're not in that boat. But if you guys remember, there was that kind of crowdsourcing I did a little bit at some conventions last year. Surprising, like more people than print are interested in or they buy and consume their comics digitally, which changed a lot of how I went going forward. All that's to say, rambling. What else is new? All that's to say that I think the update schedule that I have is great. Again, what Rainbow was saying was that it keeps her kind of more excited and engaged to come back every Monday and Friday or whenever she can, so that she doesn't miss it. It's probably in her routine or something like that, right? Which is great. However, I think long term, it's more appropriate, and this is what Webtoons and Tapastic does wonderfully. I'm not going to be drawing in that road or in that way. Um, Infinite Roleplay, welcome to the stream. How you doing? You coming from YouTube? Are you here on Twitch? Where are you coming from? You an artist? Let everybody know in the chat. I just realized as well. Hold on a second. You guys can't hear when that goes off. So let me set this up again. Playback devices. Sorry. There's like a lot more windows open on Twitch than there are on YouTube, I'll tell you that. Okay, so whenever anybody follows or whatever, now we should be able to hear the audio that goes with that. But anyway, thank you again for the follow. What am I trying to say here? What was I saying? Oh yeah, so imagine like 6 to 10 pages would be like a chapter update of just a small part of a larger story, or just a small contained story of like maybe Momo and Jessup arguing about Jesop spilling hummus or something, like that. But that just gives me a little bit more flexibility for storytelling. But what it also does is when I make the post, here we go. For the follow. Firestorm Super Saiyan. Welcome, man. Where are you coming from? Twitch, YouTube? Welcome. Say hello, everybody. Say hello. Let's all join in, guys. Join up. Say hello. Welcome. Welcome very much. Welcome. 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 I was gonna say it again. Welcome very much. But anyway, all that's to say, and I'm gonna fucking get off this topic because I keep saying all that's to say, that I think updating that way is better because people can, whenever they go to the website or whatever, there's a story that you're gonna read in one shot and not be left with like a continual cliffhanger. Because some, like, I've noticed, right, like there's so much of the story I'd rather you guys just see like now. But because of the update schedule and stuff, the way it goes, it just doesn't work that way. So it's good though, because right, like next year when we keep moving forward with this, like I'm not stopping. So next year when I start doing that, when people come back, they're gonna have like 55 pages that they can read if they like too, right? So there's no bad in all of this. I think the only, I guess, fail on my part, I suppose, was not going with my gut and just updating it that way in the beginning. If that's the worst thing to come out of this, well, too bad. Like I'm still making comic pages and that's all great. So, wow, it took me a long way to answer that question, didn't it? Nabu is saying, will Jessup have his own signature move? I want to say yeah. He does a move that I've always wanted him to do. When the shit starts going down here, you guys will see it when we draw it. Trust me. But yeah, I want to see if he'll do a lot of that. There's no, and I had decided. I don't know if you guys were here. Some of you guys, I know you weren't, but when I was talking about it, I decided to make him not kill people for now. Maybe if something puts him over the edge, but like this big build up, he's not going in there and just gonna start ripping these dudes' heads off, or like a dandelion, like grab by the stomach, like just popping their heads off. I'm not going that. He is a war machine, but at the same time, there is a story and a reason why he no longer wants to be that kind of thing, right? And you guys will find that out too with this. A lot of that gets touched on in this story too, so don't worry about that. But yes, he has. Let's say if you enjoy He-Man, he fights a little bit more like He-Man, and just I guess I could allude to yeah. If you guys know anything about Zangief from Street Fighter, think something like that. Chad Daly, how are you, my man? Welcome. I'm pretty sure you're from YouTube, I believe. King Eats Queen. Hey, how's it going? And Firestorm, the chat wouldn't load for me. I had to refresh. Okay, well, welcome. Thank you for refreshing. Pull up a drawing table and start working. Get your guys' stuff going. All right, let's get this here. Get this. All right, let's get a contour layer on this sassy lady. It's so hot in here. It's like 80 something in here. My Canadian body just can't take it. Queen, so write that. Okay, so we got the queen. We got to put her in a cage. Now this is okay. So we got two cages we're putting here: front cage and back cage. Back cage, and we're gonna start with the back one first. And that's all this stuff back here. Put little like rocks and stuff on the ground. You know this whole thing just beat to hell. Okay. All right, let's make sure we got all this here. So we go here, connect all these lines. Let's try it. Damn it, I knew I'd missed something here. Let's see, oh, right here. Jeez, missed missed all of that. All right, so get that all set up, and put her there. But we're gonna put that behind her, just like that, and then we're gonna do it here as well. All right, I think we're good. Nope, I lied. Damn, forgot. I forgot. That's not enough poles. She needs more prison poles. All right, let's close that. Let's make another one. I forgot all about this one right here. I think. Did I put that? Yeah. Well, be careful with this one. Yeah, just cut out some of these. Put some spikes up in there. Some more spiky spike. All right, let's try this again. This should look a little better. At least what I'm trying to do is you need to put like a one of these posts in front of her face. Actually, you know what? I think we're still not done. We need to do some more here. We need to wait. What's the circles we're doing here? It goes like this, like that. Anyway, we need something like this because this gives us our foreground element, so it's gonna make her look better because she has something in front of her face, so it blocks that. You'll see. At least I hope it works out. Kind of shit if it doesn't. All right, let's check it out. Let's use our magic wand tool. Make our monsters grow. Cool. Let's try it again. There we go. That's better. Now we get to draw the king. Zaid, hey John. This might seem like an odd question, but do you ever do any studies or drawings by the old masters, as in Michelangelo, Leo, any of the old dudes? No, I mean I looked at Michelangelo. If out of all of them, I like Michelangelo the best. But I looked at Michelangelo only when I was looking at George Bridgman, and I think even George Bridgman has like Leonardo studies as well. But no, not really. This will probably sound like anti art school stuff. And to be fair, everybody's got their own journey, and art's awesome. art has so many ways of you getting better and learning and all that cool stuff, right? So what works for somebody and what clicks for other people, it's all different. So it's all good. There's no wrong way or, whatever. You're not missing out on stuff. Um, for me, I was just more interested in drawing stuff that interests me. I've said this too. If I could go back in time, if I could go back in time, I would not have looked at as much anatomy as I did. I would have just been making more comic books, comic book pages, instead of all those studies of anatomy. That's not to say don't study anatomy. What I'm trying to say with that. Thank you for the. Who's the next person in line? Hi, it's Clarence. Welcome, Clarence. How you doing? Welcome. Appreciate it. Let everybody know that you're here. Say hello if you got any links. This goes for everybody too. If you guys got websites and stuff, post them in there. Share them with everybody that's here. Enjoy it. Have some fun. Live a little. You guys need to live a little bit. What was I saying? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, right. Okay, so I would have, I would have stopped looking at anatomy books so much, and I would have just been making more comics. The caveat to all that is, if you know you want to do comics, in this case, let's say, then you need to be making more comics than you are studying how to draw. I was gonna say draw art, but like, and the reason I say this, and this is just my opinion. The reason I say this is because as you draw your comic book pages, right, you're probably going to stick with drawing what you like. So big monsters or, sexy women or noir crime mysteries or superhero comic. Whatever it is that turns you on about art, right? You're probably going to do that. But the thing is, if you're not studying, and let's say it's superheroes, if you're not studying anatomy, when you go to draw that comic book page, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't, everything looks the same. I can't get an angle right. Well, guess what you've just done? You just told yourself what you need to study. And that's the best part. The thing that study, especially like anatomy and stuff, doesn't teach you, it doesn't teach you how to draw a comic book. And comic books have a lot of things where, like, it's not even even in superhero comics, it's not even really about the anatomy. The appeal for anatomy, in my opinion, and this has come from somebody that this is what I believe. That's why I want to just throw this out there. Is that it's the illusion that this person studied so much anatomy that holy hell, like I wish I could do this. And like I need to study more anatomy so I could learn how to draw like Jim Lee Wolverines or Joe Madureira characters and stuff, right? But I think the reality is yes, you do, but there's no line in the sand that ever tells us when you've hit that point or when you're ready to move on from studying anatomy. And what that's told me over the years is that this going in, everybody does. You'll never stop learning until you die, okay? And what's really awesome about that is if you're not good at anatomy today, you're going to get better. But the one thing, especially if you want to do comics, the one thing that you need to do is make comics, because comics are going to show you the stuff like storytelling and stuff. You know how hard it is to draw like a guy coming home? I've shown this example a bunch of times. A guy coming home late at night from a day job, he's just burnt out with something in his hand. And if you draw the anatomy, I'll do it right now. Sorry for everyone that's already seen this stuff, okay? But this illustrates my point, like pretty much to a T, okay? So like, if I was studying anatomy and I'm reading my script and the script says like, okay, so guy comes in late from work, dreadful day at work. I'm going to do it sideways so you can kind of see it. If I was studying anatomy, chances are I would probably start along the lines like either with a gesture. Let's say it was like a gesture or something. And then I'm putting in like, okay, so here's like a circle. We got his chest or something, right? Some hips. He's got his leg. Maybe he's walking in, right? Like this. Right? And you might be doing cylinder kind of people like this, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, when you're doing comics, there's other things you can learn. You're like, well, you don't need to know all that information. You just need to go like, maybe it's starting again with the gesture, but you're building into this shape of like a guy, right? In from this, and all you're worrying about is like the illustration part or the storytelling part of it. It's not about correct anatomy. I can have this shape here, and I can bullshit my anatomy in here from study, but again, the study is just enough to get you going. You don't need to know like where does whatever this muscle is called connect to that muscle. If you're interested in it, then yes, 100% do that. I'm talking for like the majority of people that feel like they just have to study anatomy because that's what artists tell them. Okay, right? And you see what I'm doing here? I'm constructing, and this is more so how I draw now, which is you're just putting shapes and then you're putting like bullshit anatomy in there, and then you kind of make it work. You can kind of whatever. But if your style is like you want to be super realistic, this might not work, but it's whatever, right? And like that's what I'm saying. Just by drawing this, you saw how much different it was and how quick it was. Like this one over here feels like he's got more weight to him, and he's like pulling himself away. You know what I mean? This one here, it could be well drawn and it is what it is, but the story isn't there. And again, comics, it's going to be different for a lot of people, but I'm in the camp that comics isn't just about pretty art. It's fundamentally about story, and the story has to be told through art in a lot of ways, right? Art and words, they all come together to make a comic book. So anyway, I don't even know how the hell we got on that rant. So anyway, that's a wow. Did I ever deviate? So no, I didn't really look at the masters because I didn't. I'd look at their art, and it's not that this might sound harsh. I'd look at Michelangelo and Leonardo, and I'm not impressed with what I see. It doesn't get me excited to get back at the table. They're masters of course. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but I'll just be straight up. You put like Michael or the Mona Lisa or the Sistine Chapel or something. I haven't seen those things, so it might be different. But you look at that stuff, and that's cool. It's great. But you put like Joe Madureira, or you put Ryan Otley, or I forget his name, the artist from Berserk, or Toriyama from Dragon Ball. That stuff gets me going like, yeah, I need to, I can't wait to get in and do this stuff. It's just different. It's just different. And it's great that things are different because it makes it so that there's more room for everybody. If everybody was like had to follow the same kind of guidelines, it'd just all be samey. And samey is boring. Saying all that, I always feel like I'm backing up like I don't want to offend anybody, but saying all that, you might enjoy samey stuff. Really, it just comes down to just know yourself, what it is for art that you're interested in. Nabu saying Rob Liefeld has bad anatomy sometimes, but he still has fans. I think I'm a Rob Liefeld fan. I love his work. You know how many discussions we've had on this stream? Not today, but over the life of the stream of people like just bad mouthing Rob Liefeld. I don't get it. I mean I get it when people look at it and go like he can't draw. Cool. But the guy's got a career making comics. A lot of us want that, and we can't. So, you know, you have to give credit where credit's due. If you don't like the style that somebody draws in, hey, that's fine too. There's so many people out there. I just don't understand the hate that comes that you know what really I've said this before too. What really pisses me off about comic book artists because I haven't found this anywhere else in art. I haven't really deviated too much in other art fields necessarily, but what really pisses me off about art fans or comic book fans that are artists, comic book artists, like how do you run down another comic book artist? Like they're your brothers and sisters. We all know how hard it is to do this stuff. I don't understand like why people would just like belittle a comic book artist when you're a comic book artist or you want to be. That doesn't make any sense. That says more to me about you as a person that you'll actually never do anything in comics. You just wish that someday, maybe one day, something would happen that you could be an artist. I'm not saying that towards you at all, Nabu, at all. I'm saying in general to people, okay? And that goes with any comic book artist. As long as they're not like fully swiping people's artwork, God bless. Do your thing. I just wish more people would just take into consideration when they comment about. Okay, I wish more comic book artists would take into consideration when they're talking about comic book artists that those people, they're. You know how much work it takes to get a life where you can wake up and do comic books? Do you know how hard it is to have a life where you get to wake up and do what you want in the morning? You should celebrate those people. You should say congratulations, Good for you. You're one of the small minority of people that, whether it was your dream or whatever, but you did something where you pushed and you got something. It's kind of like people with a lot of money. I'm not talking about the kids that grow up in money and stuff. I'm talking about people that, you know, maybe you're like, you were comfortable money wise. You're not well off, but, you know, like, oh, what's the word? I can't. I'm all over the place right now. It's the middle. What's the middle called? Middle class, Jesus. So like middle class, or maybe even a little less or something, maybe a little higher, and like they just end up making a lot of money and stuff. And they haven't screwed anybody over. They haven't done anything bad. It's just like this weird. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just a human thing. I don't know. But it makes me sick when I hear people mostly just criticizing people as opposed to saying more along the lines of like, congratulations, good for you. Like, where's people just being like nice? Why does everybody always have to feel like, not always, and I'm just generalizing here, but Facebook especially is a lot of like kind of poison where there's just a lot of, if it's not me that's getting this, how could you get it? And it's poison. It's cancer. I mean, you got no time for that stuff. Just enjoy and like sharing people's success. This is getting, we're getting all over the place right now, eh? Rob is very passionate about comics, and that's awesome. You couldn't have said it better. Zeta saying, I agree 100% with everything you said and your approach to doing comics. Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. We're brothers in comics right now, okay? Rainbow doesn't know who that is. You could just search Rob Liefeld. Here, I'll post it in here. Liefeld? I always say his name wrong. You just do there and just take a look at his art. So again, some people don't like it because it's super stiff and all that stuff. There's the infamous Captain America picture where it's Captain America from the side, but his proportions are all out of whack. Like, all out of whack. And I'm going to go into this in a second, but I forget. Somebody did it on the internet. It's the internet where they basically redrew over him naked, and you could see how bad Liefeld's anatomy was in there, and then people just get on this bandwagon of like, he can't draw. And then they just start bashing everything the guy does, right? As opposed to like celebrating the fact that he's one of the founders of Image, guys. Like, come on. How many of you have ever wanted to submit to Image? Or read an Image comic? Like, celebrate these people. God, man, there's no anyway. Getting hot. Getting real hot. The last thing I was going to say about, you look at Liefeld and people confuse and they criticize his anatomy. And I'm talking about anybody like that, okay? But then you look at somebody like the god of comics, right? The guy who says the granddaddy, the best that there ever was in comics, a lot of people say, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? I'll let you guys just simmer on that for a second, okay? Who do you guys think I'm talking about? Yes, there we go. Kirby, okay? Jack Kirby. Look at his anatomy, and you tell me that guy knew how to draw. Based off of that same argument. And if you tell me that, like, you look at Liefeld and his anatomy sucks and he's worse and blah blah blah, and I feel like I'm just defending Liefeld, but I'm trying to get a point here. It's not just about him. But if you can look at Kirby and say it's beautiful and it's amazing, and you can look at Liefeld and say he can't draw anatomy and shit, you got to ask yourself why. Is it because he added more render lines? What is it? Maybe it's just your taste. You don't enjoy that taste. That means don't look at it. You can have an opinion, of course, but it's like just going around and spreading that cancer is just, I don't get it. I don't get it. Hey, Keeman, welcome, man. Welcome. I guess the last thing I'll say, because I'm on my soapbox right now, right? And I know I don't. It's fun to listen to, but I don't want to stay on it too long because it's just, I don't know, it's just not enjoyable to listen to. But look at it this way, okay? Anybody that's professionally making comics, they're helping the medium, even if it's like bad. Like if you want to talk about Greg Lands and stuff, where people are taking like screenshots of porno actresses so they can draw, and you can find the movie that she was in and, do all that stuff. Like, I get all that. But you guys have heard this adage, right? Like, no attention's bad attention. I mean, unless you're doing something like you killed somebody, right? you know. But I'm saying like, okay, so he got caught, like drawing, inappropriate, naughty lady pictures, whatever the hell, whatever, right? These people are still forwarding the medium of comics, and comics are it's still a baby and it's fresh. There's so much more this the medium can do and all that stuff. It's exciting. I don't know. There's more exciting things to talk about with comics than like, how bad somebody sucks that makes comics. I don't get it. I don't get it. And we haven't even talked about indie comics, web comics. What I'm doing, what like a bajillion other. You go on Webtoons, that entire front page, all those cats are doing, right? Like nobody criticizes them. Well, they might. You might. Some people might where they just go, I'm just not going to look at it because it's amateur or something, right? Liefeld. Oh, I'm great. Thank you, Keeman. I know you came in a little spicy moment here. Larry's saying Liefeld is not only one of the founders, he's the first one to go to Malibu Comics. And so with the first Youngblood miniseries, then Spawn, then the others, there would be no Image without him. I'm not a Liefeld fan. I'm not a what? No, I'm not a Liefeld apologist, but I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, okay. All right. So we're all on the same. Well, some of us are on the same page. I know some people still won't agree with me. That's cool. It's all good. What is? All right. So this panel is pretty much done, which is awesome. We get into the next page, which shouldn't take too long to do. We got a really bitchin' picture of Jesop we get to draw. Really excited about that. This hand just needs to be a lot more monstrous. Now he's kind of like. Actually, maybe it shouldn't. I think it could. It does, but his head's got to be bigger than his hand. Damn. All right. Well, actually, you know what? Let's make him a little bit bigger. Let's see if we can do that. Let's get crazy. Yeah, well, he's the king. You need him to be like, have some stugats, as the Italians like to say. I don't even know if that's what they say. Comes from my knowledge from The Sopranos, which is not Italian life at all. All right, let's get this going. And I'm gonna have to turn my air conditioning on. I'm like, can you guys see how am I shiny right now? As my girlfriend's younger sister would say, shining bright like a diamond. I can feel it. I gotta wash my face. I'm gonna take like a little break in a second here. Refill the water bottle. Matador is saying, anyone ever see the comic documentary for later? It's not old but cool, but ready for like 2 or 3 pop-ups. I don't think I've seen that one. No, beyond the comic book pages. No. Liefeld is pretty good compared to McFarlane. Here we go. Right. Anyway. All right, let's get this here. I think. Oh, forgot that. All right, let's try this again. Let's do this again. Perfect. Okay. Let's get that. Move that down. Get the rest of the panel in there. All right. So I've got a grid in here, so I'm going to just put some lines in for the background here, just so I know when we ink, kind of the direction that I was going, or even the light source. Shit, I actually forgot his scepter. Of all things, probably one of the most important design things that he's got on him. I didn't give him. Crap. Alright, well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheese it. Alright, let's do it this way. We're going to grab our silhouette brush, and we're going to do it the old school way. So we put the heart. Baby, don't you... Baby. Alright, we're going to turn it into line art, turn that into line art, and bang. This is what's really cool about doing this stuff, you guys, is how quickly you can, if you use silhouettes from time to time, you don't have to use it for everything you do, but try it out. It might work, might like help you out in a little bit, or in a little way, for your art and stuff, but, for something like this, where instead of having to draw like all the lines and stuff, we can kind of just start in a way with the contour layer, just by working with a black shape, and then we can come in and add the rest of the line art in here. put a contour layer around all that. Sweet. I might actually move back here or something. Let's rotate it. Yeah, let's go with it that way. That looks a little better. Sweet. I know I have speed lines in this last panel, but I don't think we need it. We've got enough here where he's telling them off. Not adding it again, because I know Momo would probably get a little spicy with it, but we don't need to get that crazy. Okay. So what you guys are saying? Cool, cool, cool. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Yeah, hey, no problem, Keeman. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be right back. Let me just get the next page ready here. And we'll be working on this one. This is gonna be super fun to do. Like I said, it'll most likely be pretty quick. Let's duplicate the canvas. Cool. Okay, I'll be right back, you guys. And where am I looking? Here we go. Okay. Be right back. Okay. You know, I was just looking at the time, and I'm gonna be that guy. I say I'll be right back, and then I just leave. How long have we been streaming for now? Okay, cool. One thing I'll say too is it's deceiving, but it's also cool. Remember when I said I was? Oh God, my eye. I was keeping track of the amount of time it would take me to do something. With the streams, it's like it just keeps track of the time for you as well, right? So what are you guys saying here? Cool. Awesome. You guys are still catching up. Okay, so we're probably I'm gonna stream until 10 p.m. So probably like another 20 minutes or so. Okay. Just so you guys know. So that means let's haul some ass. This page there's like no dialogue at all, and we are going to cheat it by duplicating this. I'm gonna put that in panel 1, but we're going to delete everything on there. Cool. There's a little quick way to keep your ruler. Now, I don't normally like using this symmetrical ruler because it makes everything look symmetrical, like perfect. So what I usually do is I'll draw like the whole thing in, and then we'll go over it, usually with inks, but we might do it with just a line art. And you break up some of those lines and you make them imperfect. You make them imperfect. Imperfect. So they don't look like it was just drawn. Half of the image was drawn and the other half was just like cut and paste. You know what I'm saying? John, that page is doing exactly what you want it to. Jesop has to exactly. Well, it's good. I'm glad because this is like it starts to get the tone is changing in the story. My God, like an eyelash or something. We're kind of at that crux now, right? They've come up to the big bad. Jesop's asked the big bad, would you mind just leaving? The guy's like, go screw yourself. Something's got to get done. I guess they're taking care of some business. I guess if you haven't been able to tell already, the main thing here, the takeaway, I guess. Actually, that makes him look like he's smiling. Let's pull that back. Actually, I erase all this. Anyway, is that even though he's a war machine, he doesn't want to fight. Right? I'm not sure about that mustache just yet. I feel like this looks like Jesop, but like somebody else drew him, not me. So I'm gonna try it again. feeling this one a little bit better already. Maybe it was just the eyes, I don't know. We'll compare them in a second. Yeah, we don't want to start doing that. No rendering just yet. Alright, let's compare them here. So we got this one. I think we go with this one. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this one. Yeah, I'm with you, Nabu. I'm with you. Let's get his little tufts of hair. Let's get back to it. Alright, let's get... So you can see how I have, like, his back here. I think if we're going to show his back, like, his back's massive. So I might just have to, like, go right off the page with this. It's going to make him look even bigger. I might have to change his anatomy up here. I'm actually going to turn the breakdown layer off. I'm just going to eyeball it here. So his anatomy here is actually much different than how I kind of already drew it. Because he's tilting, right? So you wouldn't see as much as I drew. A lot of this is going to get erased too, right? With the panels that are in there. This is definitely like the first panel I hope when you see it, or when everybody sees it, you know, when they're reading the comic. It's like the first time you see, you know, you hear the term War Machine brought up all the friggin' time, but we don't actually see anything. So maybe this is like the first time where you're like, okay, so this guy that's really sweet and nice, he's kind of getting a little serious, you know? I want to see Jesop start kicking ass and taking names, Matador. Well, you might be disappointed. I don't know. We'll see. He definitely. Okay, I'll tell you this. There's one scene that I have in there that I think is gonna be really awesome to draw. Then he does attack one dude, but he does some stuff I don't think you guys are expecting. That I hope is really exciting to see, and it doesn't involve him like knocking the shit out of dudes. I want to save that for when he does eventually do that. Go like we'll say full War Machine mode. Um, I want it to be absolutely terrifying. You know, maybe that's where you get into the blood and the guts, possibly. I don't know, but it's something I don't. If when I do show it, it's one of those things that I'm hoping is like terrifying, and it's going to be hard to do with just this kind of stuff. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Rainbow, in the heart, or sorry, in the heat of the moment, he would seem much bigger anyway, simply from the other ones being scared. Yeah, I agree. Race Farmer, hey, welcome, bud. Your Jessup style make a great Colossus. Ooh, thank you. Appreciate that. Fear makes things seem bigger than they are. Well said. Quote of the day? Easily the quote of the day. Nabu, will Jessup fight someone bigger than him, like a Titans? Or well, I feel like I just want to show you guys all the script. I'll say this: the guy that there is something that'll happen here that yes is bigger than him. Not like you got to imagine. I don't think a lot of people like are aware of this. Let me just show you this because I still have yet to do this around the website. Figure out how to put this together for people that still wanted to do fan art and stuff like that. And I've kind of let you guys down. I haven't posted anything. Do we have the guide here? Let me just see. Webcomic art assets? No. Model sheets? Did I put it in here? No. Reference? Yes, right here. Okay, so this is something to keep in mind. This is a height chart that I made for the characters in here. The sad part is there's no humans in there. So, and I've said this before, when people see Jessup, they're going to assume he's a human because he looks human. I've given him 3 fingers. His eyes are weird, and you never see a mouth, so it could be some stylistic stuff. But there's reasons for these things. That's why I want to get a human in here pretty quick. So there might be one in the second story just to see it. But so the average human I have here is 6. Jessup's like 10 feet tall. Again, War Machine, right? So Momo's around 6 feet tall with like tentacles and stuff. And these cute little dudes are like 3 feet. The Doblins are only like 4 feet, right? So that's what I'm saying. When you see stuff like somebody bigger than him, I mean, 10 feet's pretty friggin' massive. So the bad part is I haven't really given you guys. It's sort of like it's concept design 101 that I failed to show you guys, which is whenever you design something that's not human, you have to have something that's like a human. Because if you don't, then people aren't going to know the scale of something. So that's why you'll see, if you ever look at concept art, you'll see like a big, like, let's say someone drew a castle or something, right? But then they'll draw like little flecks of birds. And the whole point of that is so when you're looking at it, you can put into your mind's eye, like, oh, holy shit, that thing's huge because I'm relating the size of it to the size of those birds that I see. Right? And you'll see it in like Star Wars and any kind of movie you watch, it's a fantasy kind of movie, right? Is exactly that. You'll see like a big, nice vista shot, and we'll use The Force Awakens. They do it all the time. You come into a planet and you see like this nice. It's when the Falcon comes in to go see Maz Kanata or whatever the hell her name is, and it's coming in and you see her little fortress, or whatever. It's surrounded by the water, and then the Millennium Falcon kind of comes in. As soon as you see the Falcon, you can look at it and look at what you're looking at and realize in your mind, like, you don't know how big the Falcon is. You have an idea, but just that idea lets you see, okay, that's how big this place is. Like when the Millennium Falcon went into the Death Star, like it turned into a speck, or the Star Destroyer, right? It turned into like a speck, and then when it was coming in the bay, that it came in there, and you saw like the army of stormtroopers, like it's scale, right? And that's the thing. So when I'm saying I let you guys down, it's exactly that, in my opinion, because I haven't shown like a human. People would assume this guy's a human, of course, because you have nothing to relate to. So the question of like the size and stuff like that. So whatever, lessons learned. Yeah, giant things like titans and gods and stuff. I would very much like to have a lot of that stuff in there. I like a lot of fantasy and things like that in my stories, over the top. You know. I think I'm going to bring in his hips a bit. He's getting a little thick. Yeah, it's better. Let's go straight lines. Makes it easier to see. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? Oh, his belt. Let's get a belt in here. Holy shit. We can relate to his humanity, even if it's freaks. Exactly. That's yes. You're right. And I'm purposely trying to do some of those things. So I'm glad. Like, thank you for saying that. Lets me know some people are picking up on it, which is good. Which is it's a good feeling, you know. Trying to get better at writing and all that cool stuff. It can be a little like, like I'm not sure or whatever, right? Sorry again for my English. I'm from Hong Kong. Hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Thank you again for being able to make it. Hey, and let's be honest. You know what? You know what? Let's just call it what it is, right? I appreciate you saying, sorry for your English, right? You're from Hong Kong. I can't speak Chinese. I can't speak Japanese. I can't speak Mandarin. I can't speak anything other than English. So I apologize to you as well, man. Rice farmer. Just sorry, became a Patreon. Can't wait to see that $3. Ooh, well, thank you so much, Rice. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, the content you're talking about, I think, actually, it's this weekend I'm making it, I believe. I'll have to check my list, but yeah, should be pretty fun. I hope you learn a little bit something from there. Also, if you just pledged, go back. You can see a whole bunch of the old old the other tutorials. I highly recommend. I think one of the one that got the most feedback from patrons, and I'm super glad about that was I make a video talking about how you can practice making comics and get better at making comics instead and you don't have to do finished comic pages in order to get see noticeable improvement and stuff. But yeah, have fun. Click around. Appreciate you joining the Patreon club. You'll get Jesop King pages early if you enjoy the comic anyway. What else you get? Yeah, you get some other stuff. Process. Oh yeah, I put the process stuff too. So anyway, thank you again. Matador, Alien Covenant. Anybody stoked about it? I was, and I heard some people like talk some poop about it. I don't know. We'll see. I enjoy alien movies. Why is? Oh, it's my fault. Cool. All right, so there we go. We got that done. La, 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 la. Does a web comic need a cover or just for printed? You honestly, this is the thing. If it's printed, most likely you'll want a cover. The and the reason for that is if okay, when something's printed, it's in direct competition with everything else that's in print. Okay, so if it's on a comic book shelf, it's got to compete with X-Men or indie stuff, whatever. If you're at a comic book show and you're trying to sell your comic and pitch it to people, you got to compete with everything that's around you plus what's on your table, right? So it's like a movie poster. It gets asses in the seats. Okay, that's you have to do that. So if it's in print, you're doing that as well. For digital, like for a web comic, I don't think it's necessary, um, because a lot of webcomic places you go to, it's more about your banners and your thumbnail images and that kind of thing. Where those speak more towards your cover because they still have to grab attention, right? Another thing to remember is like if you do a webcomic and you have like a .com website, like yourcomic.com that people go to, like if you go to mine, jessopking.com, it's got like the comic page is the draw there, right? And the I'm far past page one. So when people are jumping in now, if they went back to the first, if there was a cover, you could do it. Totally can do it. That's the best part about web. You can do whatever you want. I don't think it's necessary on web. Whereas if it's print, you obviously have to have something on the cover, right? So I hope that answers your question there. Anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. And all of the new followers today. I appreciate that. How many did we get in today? Was it 7? Am I reading that right? Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, Ice Comics, Tyrus777, Art by Ruben, Spartan 5434, Infinite Roleplay, Firestorm SSJ, and Hi Clarence. Thank you all for following today. I really appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. Like I said, the next, not tomorrow, but the day after that, we got like a juicy, like a plump and juicy 4-day vacation, and I'm gonna be jamming some Jesop King and some streams. So if you guys got nothing else to do and you want to come hang out, do more of this, I appreciate that. And hell, if you want to do one other solid favor here, is if you enjoyed the show. I don't care if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch. If you've enjoyed it, please, if you got some art friends, share it on your Facebook, on your Twitter, whatever. Just say, check this guy out. Check some of this. If there's something there. If you don't think it's worth it, thank you for even just watching. But if you do, that would mean a whole bunch to me, okay? So anyway, I'm taking off. I would say goodbye again. Thank you guys so much. Like usual, keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.